We want to bring in now Charlie Bailey. Charlie Bailey is the chairman of the Democratic Party of Georgia. Charlie, we appreciate you making the time. Can you hear us okay?
I can hear you, Zach. Can you hear me?
I sure can. All right, Charlie, I know you watched the State of the Union last night. From the perspective of the Democratic Party of Georgia, what's your response to the remarks the president delivered?
Well, I mean, it's more of the same, Zach. We got an old man up there rambling on, and not addressing the issues that working people in our state are dealing with. And frankly, it's worse than just not addressing, dismissing. What did he say? That affordability or the ability of folks to pay their bills is a lie. And then you have all these Republicans pile in to clap for that. I think it's a real shame, but it shows how out of touch he is with the harmful policies and the impacts it's having on folks.
There was a lot of talk about the economy and affordability, both last night and as you well know, throughout this election year. The president at one point argued that Democrats were to blame for affordability issues, saying, quote, "You caused that problem." What do you say in response to that?
I mean, he's an old fool. I mean, that's what I say. He's president of the United States. He's the one that passed the big billionaire bill that gave billionaires $1 million a year in tax breaks, $1 million a year in tax breaks for the next 10 years, cut 540 million out of our rural health care system, causing labor and delivery units to close and ICU units across the state think about closing. It's him and Buddy Carter and Mike Collins and the rest of the Republicans in D.C. that have cut everybody's ACA credits, so that we see small businesses now in Georgia. We're hearing from small businesses having to shutter, insurance premiums doubling, tripling, quadrupling. So they did that. Nobody else made them do it. They didn't have to. So it's their policies and his policies that have brought us to the point where, what was it, just in January, Georgia led the nation in layoffs, and the highest numbers we've seen since the Great Recession in 2009. So if Donald Trump's talking, he's lying. And that's what we got a lot of last night. And frankly, a dismissiveness of the people of Georgia and what they're going through.
Let me ask you this question, made clear from your answer there, not a supporter of the president's vision of the state of the economy and the issue of affordability. For Georgia Democrats, if Georgia Democrats take control, what is your plan to solve the issue of affordability and make things more affordable for all the people who call Georgia home?
Well, Georgia Democrats have a lot of ideas. One, it starts with a tax code that rewards work and not wealth. For far too long, both in D.C. with the big billionaire tax cut, and here in Georgia, you've had a tax system that rewards billionaires and big corporations. It rewards people like Burt Jones and his daddy and Rick Jackson. They're doing just fine. But the working people of the state have been taken on the chin for 23 years. The Republicans have been in office. How long has it been, Zach, since Republicans have denied using our own federal tax dollars to provide working people and small businesses with health care? How long has it been since Medicaid expansion's been on the table and Republicans have refused to do that? What is that now? 15 years, 16 years? How many thousands of Georgians are not here that would be here if they had had that health care? So those are just a start. But when we get back in control, you're going to have a government that cares a lot more about working folks and their ability to put food on the table than it does rewarding these billionaires and big corporations.
Let's talk about immigration, another big topic in our state and in our country and in our politics right now. At one point last night, the president said, and I'm quoting here, "If you agree with this statement, then stand up and show your support. The first duty of the American government is to protect American citizens, not illegal aliens." Many of the Republicans in the chamber stood up and applauded. Many Democrats stayed seated. Was that the right move for the Democrats in the chamber to stay seated?
Well, I would say that it's not the right move for Donald Trump to have his federal agents running around the street, assaulting Americans, shooting them in the head, violating their civil rights. Um, whether who stood up or sat down at some, speech where an old man aggrandized himself about how great he is, frankly, don't matter worth a hill of beans. What matters is with the deeds, with the great power these folks have been given, what are their deeds? And so what I'm waiting to hear for is whether Mike Collins, Buddy Carter, Derek Dooley, Burt Jones, Rick Jackson, Brad Raffensperger, or Chris Carr will stand up for the citizens of this country that are being harassed by Donald Trump's federal law enforcement goons.
And how do you propose that the question of undocumented immigration be addressed? Specifically, how should it be addressed?
Well, the way that bipartisan groups of folks have tried to do it over the years, a comprehensive immigration reform. I mean, we had two times in the past, 20 years where that was on the table, and it was right wing Republicans that killed it in the U.S. House each time. We got to have a secure border, and Georgia Democrats support that, but we need comprehensive immigration reform, and the so that folks that are working in this country that are contributing to society can be put on a path to citizenship. Now, I'm not going to take a back seat to anybody. I was a gang prosecutor. I've prosecuted some of the most dangerous people in the state of Georgia. And if you're a violent criminal, whether you are a citizen or not, you need to go to prison. But what Donald Trump and these Republicans are doing now is targeting hardworking people, family folks, citizens, and those that are trying to get documentation, targeting them when the hard work of keeping people safe requires federal, law enforcement, detectives doing investigations, not sending these fools around with cowards with masks on to beat up citizens on the street.
All right, Charlie Bailey, chairman of the Democratic Party of Georgia, with the DPG's response to the State of the Union address delivered last night by President Donald Trump. Charlie, we appreciate your time as always. Thank you.
Always appreciate your time, Zach. Thank you.